why didn't you outrun him? I thought you said this thing was fast.
Watch your mouth, kid, or you're gonna find yourself floating home.
Oh, I don't think so.
The one thing we hear about in defense of Rey is the Skywalker men, either Anakin or Luke, are Gary Stu's or Mary Sue's. And Mary Sue is a character that is liked by everyone and has no flaws, doesn't really need training, and is handed everything. We understood that Luke had flaws and was not liked by everyone. He was whiny.
Take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up before dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
He didn't listen to his masters and had to be saved a lot. Now, Anakin, he was not liked by the council. He also dealt with attachment and was easily manipulated.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Now, I can go on listing all the flaws, trials, and tribulations the Skywalker men have gone through in the movies and even including the novels, etc. But we are just going to go ahead and break it down through Bleeding Fool and the arguments that many claim to use against the Skywalker men as Mary Sue's. By the way, thank you, Ichibaka, for this article. In the article, he says, as we know, Rey is in fact a Mary Sue, but in order to raise the crappy Disney trilogy into equality with the original trilogy, SJWs like Pete Fletcher, host of the Around the Galaxy podcast, have to fool themselves into thinking that Luke Skywalker is a Gary Stu. Now let's take a look. So Snivel Whiplash basically comments, no one is against diversity. It is when the story suffers from shoehorning in woke garbage instead of actually storyline, example, Rey being a Mary Sue. Pete goes on to say, oh my gosh, shut the F up with the Mary Sue thing. Luke blew up the Death Star without training. Anakin took out a droid control ship. Move along. Now one has to wonder, has Pete ever read any novels or even watched the movies thoroughly to understand that Luke Skywalker or even Anakin are not Gary Stu's and they went through a lot of shit through the whole story arc? Evidence is clearly in the movies where Wedge Antilles, Red 2, tells Luke that's impossible even for a computer. And then Luke goes on to say, it's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters. And he also goes on to say, it'll be just like Beggars Canyon back home. Now, we even see Luke's T-16 in the film, both in the model and also in the background. What this means is that Luke essentially ran multiple simulations of the Death Star run long before the Battle of Yavin. Yes, he did. In his T-16, it had similar controls to the X-Wing. Beggars Canyon simulated the Death Star trench. Great concept, right? And the size of the womp rats simulated the exhaust port. That's why turning off the computer and trusting in his own abilities worked. He had done this many times before. So what do you think? Does Pete from Around the Galaxy have any valid points to what he thinks about the Skywalker men, including Luke Skywalker? Or do you think that he just basically knows nothing and has never watched the movies or even read the novels? Please share below your thoughts with me. You can also subscribe to my channel or become a member. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.